Hey, what's up, guys? It's Oracle here, bringing you the updated Void Gauntlet live staff build. Um, had some time to mess around with it and kind of filter some things out. What's going to be better for the role itself instead of just trying to be the best of both worlds, kind of like the other one. So, kind of did some messing around. So, if you like the build and you want to stick around, I'm just kind of starting my way out here on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind giving a like, a subscribe, leaving a comment if you think there's something about the build I could change or something that you found that works better, just let me know. So anyway, it's going to be a Void Gauntlet life staff build. It's not finished by any means in terms of gear. I'm still farming Watermark. Um, that good stuff. Still, we're on a pretty dead server. We're in a Rose Towel, and US East, so it's a pretty dead server, unfortunately. So a lot of group activities only happen at one point during the day, usually during like peak time. So anyway, still working on that. But anyway, yeah, let's get into it. So start out, of course, we're using life staff and Void Gauntlet. We're using light armor 12.7, you have a light head, medium chest, light glove, light legs, and light feet. 12.7 is the highest you can get before getting into medium for the most resistances. Which are still shit, but that's okay. That's not our job. Um then got pure focus on my uh void gauntlet. You would all can't speak. You would honestly want um better passives, of course, instead of mortal power, keenly fortified. You would want something like crit damage, crit chance. Crit damage is better, of course, but and then I have a green life staff right now, but I got one with blessed with pure focus. So I'm using that for now until I can find something that's going to benefit the 17% healing bonus. I mean, even though it's green and I can't slot it or anything with a gem, it's still going to bring out, I mean, that 17%, that's automatic with the staff. Um, so yeah, we're in light gear, using, just normal focus, a little bit of intel. This is going to be switched out to pure focus eventually. I was in the other build, I was doing split between mostly focus and then intelligence and then a little bit of con. So I've changed that for now. So looking at the attributes, they're a little wonky because I still have to change out some gear. But what it's going to be, I'm not going to have anything in intelligence. At the end of this build, I'm going to have 0 in intelligence because really it does nothing for the Void Gauntlet. I mean, the only reason you would put points into intelligence is if you're wanting to do some sort of damage, if you're going to spec in a damage at some point. Because not the only passive that you would benefit from is the 10% to critical hit damage, which is good, but you're gonna have to dump that 100 points into intelligence. Is dumping those points in intelligence a better trade-off than losing those points in focus is kind of how my mind goes with this. So max out 300, because if you go anything over 300, the scaling is reduced significantly after you go over 300. So at least try to get at least 300. And then if you want to put your points higher in Constitution, that would be fine. I don't think this second passive really matters too much in being in light armor because you're getting a little bit more max HP, which we're already at almost a little over 8.9k HP in light armor. So I don't really think we would need any 10k HP. I don't think that's really necessary. So I've got 89 points in con, I've got the full 300 in focus, and 26 in intelligence. The last build that that I just put out yesterday was medium armor, and it was like 210 focus, and then like 110 or 150, somewhere in that range in intelligence. And the healing's good on it, but it's a full healer build, Like, you're a healer, you're expected to heal, So I want to heal the best possible way that I can, and that's my role. That's what role I've played in MMOs. I played ESO. I played large scale PvP in ESO as healer. Always played like ball groups, bomber groups, all that. And PvP was I played healer. But so far this is the best healing build that I've played so far. I feel like this is for PvE. Keep in mind. I think the Void Gauntlet offers a lot in terms of debuffs, and it really fits that off roll that the life staffs needed for a while in PVE. So anyway, let's get on to the. I've got my Void Gauntlet 17 and my life staff 16 right now, almost 17. So they're not maxed yet, but I can tell you what passives I'm gonna go into once they do get maxed. So start with the Void Gauntlet because it's new, you know, pretty new shiny thing, but it's actually really good for buffs. So as you can see, we're going full Decay Tree. I just feel like this is where the support side of this weapon lies. This is obviously the left tree's more damage, even though they have the healing ult in the left tree. You know, but this tree is really good for debuffs and support. It's very mana intensive, so make sure if you take this, you know you know food, mana regen food, bunch of plenty of pots, you know, that kind of way. So daily range, 10% damage on successful range attacks against enemies more than 8 meters away. Just to fill in, really, just to fill in, just to get you know, progress in the tree. 5% mana per successful light attack against targets afflicted by your Void Gauntlet debuffs. This could also be good. I might actually switch over to this. I just went with this one so far, but now that I'm reading into it, this would probably be the better move to go. You could probably go Orb of Decay and then go into this and then start moving down. So you have Orb of Decay, arguably the best, arguably one of the best abilities that this weapon offers, other than maybe the tether for personal use. For team usage wise, these two abilities here are insane. They are insane. So you fire an unblockable orb that passes through enemies, deals 100% weapon damage, and inflicts Disintegrate. Now this is the big part, Disintegrate. Disintegrate deals 5% weapon damage per second and reduces damage absorption by 5% for 8 seconds. Stacks up to 3 times, so that's 15% reduced damage absorption on anything that it touches. But at max range, it transforms into a healing orb and return healing friendlies for 20% weapon damage per second for 5 seconds. Heals scales exclusively with focus. So, we're healing with this. We're causing, if you throw this orb, say, I mean, you're playing a typical healer role. You're standing in the back, more than likely behind your team, and they're hitting a boss, or, you know, we're talking really bosses here. This is where these debuffs in this tree and the Void Gauntlet's really gonna shine. Once you're going to drop all of your life staff abilities, and then you're going to swap to this gauntlet. And then you're going to throw your tether on first. Well, we'll get into that in a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so you got this. And then you have your first passive. You gain 5% mana per enemy hit by the orb. It's okay. Not the best. It's good and large, or in cleared mobs and stuff. But whatever. It's decent. And then the orb slows enemies already affected by any debuff, reducing their movement speed by 30%. Any kind of CC that it's going to give you as a passive or as an ability attachment or whatever you want to call it is going to be good. Any kind of CC. I mean that's mobs that are going to be melee mobs that are going to be getting to your teammates slower, and just less movement in general is good. So any kind of CC. And then the last one is a good burst heal. If you, like I was saying, if you drop all of your life staff, and you know how, if you know about life staff, which it's gonna be kind of a longer one, but you drop everything after your life staff, and you get all those healing buffs, and then you get you drop this, you throw it. And then when this comes back, and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if that would work. The way that the bar swap works in this game is so weird. They should just have it to where if you pop buffs on one bar and you switch, those buffs stay until they expire on the other bar. It would be a lot. I digress. And then, so we've got the tether that goes through and reduces cooldowns against tethered target. So the tether You fire a projectile that tethers you to an enemy, weaken and empower him for 4% per second. So that's another buff. So on top of this, you're getting disintegrate, and then on top of that, you're weakening again. So you're weakening and reducing, so reducing the damage that they do to you, and reducing the damage that they take at the same time. Then you have 100% mana regeneration, which is going to help with the sustain in the long run. And then you're going to have the last one is a heal. It's a self heal that's 80% weapon damage scaled with focus when they die. So I mean, that's a heal. You can't go wrong with that. And it's self. I mean, you're the healer. If you're not alive, then your team's not alive. So keeping yourself alive is number one priority. You need to keep yourself alive. You kind of have to balance that out. And then the third ability is Essence Rupture, and you fire a projectile that inflicts Essence Rupture for 10 seconds, healing anyone that hits the target for 20% of the damage done. Does not apply to damage over time, which kind of sucks, but... And then the first passive, 15, your players additionally receive 15 stamina when hitting the afflicted target. And I haven't tested this or like worked it out testing wise, but I've heard a lot of people saying that this is broken. Like even, I'm pretty sure even mages that can dodge roll, like they'll just sit there and light attack with this Essence Rupture on, and they can just like dodge roll. They just have infinite like survivability because they can just sit here and spam dodge roll. Anyway, now you have friendlies within 4 meters of the afflicted target are healed for 80% when it ends. Scales exclusively with focus. So I guess you see a pattern here that this whole tree has to do with focus, and you know, obviously why we're scaling so hard into it. And then the ult, gain a stack of void essence per successful ability hit. 4 more stacks. The next successful ranged heavy attack will instantly reset all void gauntlet cooldowns and remove all stacks. 15-second cooldown. Once again, it's decent, but this passive over here, where you do the stacks and then you consume all of them, and it adds an aurora that or I can't say that word, but it heals 30% weapon damage and scales with focus. Why can this not be over here and then have the cooldown reduction over here with the screw? I don't know, bro. I don't know who thought of that shit, but it's dumb. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But anyway, so that's the Void Gauntlet. You just basically want to go all Decay Tree. You could focus some stuff into here, but most of this stuff, like, this is good, but you would only be using it yourself. As a healer, especially in the higher level, Reek Water, Shatter Mountain, all that, you're not going to be with the melees to where this is going to matter. You can maybe buff your ranged with this, and yourself maybe, but you get Empower through the tether. So you already have it for yourself. And then you're not giving it to anybody else like you would with this, but I mean 30 mana to 20, you're using 5 less mana and you're still getting the Empower for yourself. Most classes already have some way you can get Empower anyway, so yeah, I'm just not too big a fan of that. And then this also inflicts weaken to targets, reducing their damage by 5%, but once again, you get that on tether. You don't get it in an AoE, but you get it like as a support, and you don't have to spec into damage to get this. This has nothing to do with damage. Tether doesn't at all. It just has to do with focus when you heal. So this tree is definitely the tree to go. With the Void Gauntlet and healing style. Alright, so we'll go to the Life Staff. Generic Life Staff build. I'm not gonna go into it very hard because if you played this game and you're even watching this video, you've probably already healed before, and you've used the Life Staff, so I don't really have to explain, I don't think too hard. Sacred Ground, Light's Embrace, no passives on Light's Embrace, it really doesn't need them, with all the buffs and stuff that you have through, you have Beacon that counts as a buff, Sacred Ground counts as a buff because they have Blessed and Holy Ground, those count as buffs. So that's gonna chunk. If all somebody has to do is sit in your Sacred Ground, and you heal them, and they don't die. That's as long as people stand in the circle, they don't die with this build. 5% healing passive. Hitting with a heavy attack, 10% to healing effectiveness. They can't go any passive that increases your healing is what you need. When hitting battle, 8% weapon damage every 6 seconds is nice. When you hit with a light attack, reduce cooldowns. Light attacks heal for 16% weapon damage. No longer consume mana on this tree. And then you just get the 20% heals more effective after a dodge. Once again, Anything increases your heals good. And then heal target for 80% weapon damage, plus 30% more with each buff on the target. Beacon, all the way up until the haste. I'll probably get the haste too because it's another buff, just in case for Light's Embrace. And then I'll probably go. I'm about to hit 17. I'll probably get Desperate Speed right here for the next one, and I'll also get if you have a buff heal for 10% more Protector Strength, I'm gonna get that one. And then there was another one. I'll probably get Haste, the Haste one, the Protector Strength, and then this one. That should be my last 30. Or in this one. This one. The when you heal an ally below 50 theta heal for 30% more, that's pretty good. So yeah, like I said, light armor. Going back over it, light armor. All focus, 300 focus. I got 89 con, and a little bit of intelligence. That's gonna go into con when I can though. That's gonna change. And yeah, guys, well, that's the build. Like I said, if you know of anything better, or you know any of my information's off, or you know any way you could help improve the build, or just maybe I've been on YouTube trying to find information about this kind of build, and all the builds that I'm getting is going a lot into left tree, and I just don't think that's going to be viable for a full support healing build. So like I said, if you got any kind of recommendations or anything, just leave them down in the comments. Just let me know. Let me know how if you decide to make it and build it. Let me know how you're liking it so far on a group's scenario and all that good stuff. And don't forget, guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take it easy.